All right, man. What up, ladies and gentlemen? Open Your Mind podcast. I got Ruben in the house and Mike. How's everybody doing? Ruben, what's up, bro? How you been, man?
Good. Where's the camera? Oh, there it is.
Oh, loving the soundtrack already, bro.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
Is it Cinco de Mayo or something?
Cheers.
No, but we're gonna make it happen right now.
It's actually like an acceptable hour to drink.
All right, dude. So much to say in so little time. Let's start off with our backgrounds, because we all got some Hispanic bloodlines, right?
See?
Of course.
Of course, Maine.
No speak English.
So where are your roots?
Órale, carnal.
Hey, little puppy. Okay, so shut the fuck up, people. All right.
Quiet, guys. Thank you.
So my grandparents, they're from Juarez,
Oh, damn.
deep in the motherfucking Mexico. And we also have Apache Indian in our blood. Yeah, we know about that. My grandparents, I thought they came here illegally and swam to the river, but confirmed by my father, he said that they paid for visas so they could work in the U.S. Why you laughing, bro?
Nice. No, that's good.
If you dare disrespect them. My father was also born in Mexico, Juarez, and my dad works as a salesman, selling waterworks, and he DJs on the sides and makes that money. So how the hell could I be against immigration?
Good.
It's the media
We're all
brainwashing
immigrants,
you.
man.
Exactly. What's your background, Ruben? Your parents?
I was actually born in Mexico, man.
Oh, nice. Where?
Mexico City.
Oh, you're Chilango.
Chilango.
Órale.
Well, actually, I'm technically Capitalino. Capitalinos are the ones born there. Chilangos are the ones that usually migrate to the city.
Oh,
and
okay.
stuff.
All right. I'm glad for you explaining that. All right.
I don't care. You can call me whatever. Some people get
Call me whatever you want except lazy.
Word. Mike, what about you, bro?
All right. Well, I was born here. My father's from Baja California. My mother's from Zacatecas. The crazy thing is, though, is that actually my grandparents from my dad's side, my grandmother, I believe, was born in Michigan. And I forget where my grandfather, but they were actually born over here because during that time was a Baracero program where they got people from Mexico to come work on the railroads and all that. So actually my grandparents on my dad's side are American, which is a trip.
And a lot of the farm workers used to come here, right?
Yeah.
And migrated.
To the East Coast and everything. Actually, my grandfather worked in New York, and I remember he would always tell me stories, great, wonderful stories. But the main one he said was that, like, he knew two words: coffee, donut. That's it. That's it, G. And everybody would come up to my grandfather, rest in peace, my grandpa Lázaro, and they would say, hey, Lázaro, ordename algo. And he'd be like, all right, coffee, donut. And that's it. That's all he would eat, man. So yeah, a little bit of history right there.
And my grandpa in Mexico, I think he was like a famous baseball player.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was one of the top dudes to play baseball, and he hit a lot of home runs and shit like that. So I was told.
Baseball is huge in Mexico and the Latin American countries. Actually, what's as big as that is softball. Actually, a lot of men play softball in Mexico, which is a trip because over here it's considered
they're
a girl
good too,
sport.
man.
Yeah, really good.
They're really good.
Let's ask
A
somebody.
lot of our best players are from other countries, man. They grew up playing.
Let's ask a friend of mine who's on the phone, Julia Gulia. What's up?
You did not just fucking call me that shit on the radio.
Yeah, I did. So, what do you feel about illegal immigration?
Send them all back.
Yeah, just tell us how you feel. Come on.
Don't be scared.
I don't like you right now.
You're not a bad person. Go ahead and express how you feel.
God.
Racist.
I don't like you.
Okay, I'm just kidding. This you told me over a text message that you feel like it's wrong. Why is it wrong?
I don't like it because, mind you, I have friends that have immigrated, but they have since become citizens.
You immigrated. You're an immigrant. We were here first.
Julia, let me ask you one question.
Beat that.
Julia, one question. One question I need to ask you. Where are your grandparents from?
Oh God.
Turn up your volume too.
I'm from all over the place.
Okay, where?
There is no set place.
Are they
My
European?
last name is- Yes.
Okay, so you crossed an Atlantic Ocean. Explain that.
don't you also have a bloodline with Benjamin Franklin or somebody like that? Someone that wrote the Constitution or helped write the Constitution?
Benjamin Franklin, what the hell is his name?
Thomas Jefferson?
Daniel Chase.
Adolf Hitler?
One of those guys.
All right. Julie, you're a very sweet girl, and we know you're not trying to be a jerk, but you feel a certain way because of why? Answer the fucking question.
They end up taking jobs for us that have lived here.
What kind of
We have
jobs?
to work for it.
What kind of jobs? Be more
I'm really
specific.
hating that he made me do this.
I didn't make you do shit. I'm just asking you serious questions that pertain to what we're talking about, because you're saying that they take jobs. Maybe they do. I mean, we do see them a lot at Home Depot, right?
Yeah, people love taking jobs, where you get no breaks.
Oh,
There's
let's put it
no
this way.
bathrooms. Get paid below
McDonald's
minimum
employees-
wage.
Wait,
Okay, right. Okay. The McDonald's employees have recently asked for a raise to get $15, right?
Okay.
I'm sorry, it doesn't take much. I haven't worked at McDonald's, but I've worked in food.
Where are you going with this? We're talking
Most
about
of
illegal
my
immigrants.
life-
You have to have some documentation to be working at McDonald's.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, Julia, thanks for the call. So when we talk about things like borders, guys, what do you guys think about, borders? Should we allow immigration for everyone, realistically? Ruben.
Well, I'll share a little secret, dude. I came here illegally.
Where's the police?
Are you
Twice.
Damn.
Not only once, twice.
Did you pay a coyote? A coyote?
Well, actually, it was a friend of my uncle's. I was only 6 years old, but I remember.
You remember?
I mean, I remember, man.
Let's hear
Swear to God.
it. Let's hear it.
Mexico.
I did the whole thing, dude. I crossed, at nighttime and everything. And
Through
Wait,
the
hold up.
Through the desert or?
Yeah, let's
or where?
back up.
it
a little
it
bit.
was like sort of desert, forest type of thing. Those
Okay.
trees, I remember. It was a swamp. It was nighttime, so
How old are you?
5 or 6.
Damn, could you imagine being 5 or 6?
That's wild.
Yeah, it was a trip, dude. I mean, I didn't even know what was going on. I just remember my uncle telling me, "Hey, we're gonna, because we had family over here, and they're like, we're gonna do this little thing at night, and we gotta be quiet." And I'm like, okay,
Just
So,
prepping you.
Yeah, just prepping. I mean, we actually got chased by immigration,
La migra.
and a lot of people got caught. We were in a group of about 60 people,
Damn.
and only from those 60, 10 of us made it, and that was me, my 2 brothers, my uncle, and the coyote, and some other guys.
Damn. That
Yeah,
reminds me.
everybody got caught, dude.
You guys got caught?
Not us, all the other people.
Mm.
But I mean, it was one of those experiences. You're so young, you don't even know what's going on until you later on. You're like, oh, okay. Wow.
So when you came over here, did you how did that make you feel? I mean, were you, I know you were young, but obviously you knew that you were in Mexico. People speak
Yeah.
Spanish. It's much different.
Well, my family my mom was really sick in Mexico. That's why we had to come here with family
I
members.
see.
Did you guys ever
And my
encounter
uncle
a
used
bear?
to tell me like, hey, we're gonna go to the U.S. because in Mexico, talking about the U.S. is like going to like Disneyland,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the great land.
There's thousands of dollars for everybody.
Opportunities, yeah,
Hey, Ruben,
opportunity land.
Check
What's
out
up?
this video real quick, man. This could have been you, man, running in the woods and shit, dude. Peep this shit out. You're just doing your thing on your bike.
Yeah, it looked like that, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And was there a big fucking bear to your right?
Oh no.
Oh, my timing's off. Is there a big fucking bear to your... Where the fuck is it?
I saw
There it
this-
is. Look
I
at that
saw
shit.
something- Holy shit!
This
I
was
think
right
It's
up-
running. It's running right towards them, huh?
Yep.
Damn, that's scary, dude.
And this was like, I'm getting the fuck up out of here. Peace. Imagine that shit chasing you, man, and you trip or some shit, you're done. He's gonna eat you. Like,
I bet you there's a bunch of people that come across shit like that, man.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it,
Wild
man.
animals, fucking.
I was watching a documentary just recently about illegal immigration, people that are
Not
sneaking in, they gotta ride trains.
Yeah,
They
not
get
only-
robbed, they get raped,
Yep.
and then they gotta sneak over the fence, and then there's bears everywhere.
Human trafficking, like kids, girls,
Yeah, but
women.
let's go back a little bit with the history though before all of this, because I encounter a lot of white people, Caucasian Americans who are usually the ones protesting, just like recently in Murrieta with
Yeah.
all the children. But I do my research. The Europeans that usually came first. I mean, there's quite a variety, but the 3 ones that stand out was the Spaniards that landed in Florida, Mexico. You have your French, out in Canada, Quebec, and the English were New York area, East Coast, and little by little they started expanding westward. It wasn't until about the 1840s or so that they came up on Texas, New Mexico, Nevada, California. And at that point in time, there was Mexicans that actually lived there, and they were okay with it because they wanted to populate the area. So, come on, San Diego, Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Las Cruces, Nueva Mexico. You start looking at the names. and it was all based off of
that,
missions.
Yeah, was part of Mexico.
So my problem is that the borders, we never crossed the borders. The borders crossed us. These imaginary lines that are made up by politicians. You know what I'm saying? And
why else would somebody want to cross a border? Because I look at it like water. If you look at animals in the forest, you look at the animals in Africa, they go to the water, man, where they can survive, where they can drink it and live. And here in America, we have a lot more resources, and you have a good explanation why, Mike, because we basically fucked up other countries, right? And now they want to get away from the corruption, the police brutality, so they smuggle their way through here, and we bastardize them. You're a fucking monster, you aliens.
Well, American policy, creates this environment where people can no longer compete in these third world countries. I mean,
yes.
The CIA goes in there with business suits. They privatize the water. They do all sorts of things. They make these countries go in debt for things that they do not need and they do not require. So it's very unfortunate. And not only that, 90% of the drugs that come from Mexico and Central South America are used by people in America, 90% of them. So again, it's very complex. It's very intricate. As far as the border goes, I mean, they're trying to kick some shit now after 9/11. It's gotten a little bit harder. I'm sure you can't cross as easy now.
Oh, no.
Nowadays,
it's hard, dude.
They got
even
infrared
for U.S.
night
citizens,
vision.
you have to have your passport and everything. Before, you would only just be able to say U.S. citizen.
I remember those
cross,
times.
So let's talk a little bit about the struggle, man. What these people actually have to go through. When you have to go to this struggle, you're basically leaving everything that you have to start a better or a new life. Anything better than what you have, it's probably corrupted by the politicians. Like we have that incident over in Mexico. You want to talk about that, Ruben?
Oh yeah. Well,
which out of
I'm
all of them?
pretty sure a lot of you guys heard. There was this big thing in Mexico going on. 43 students are missing.
No, they were found, bro.
No, they haven't been.
No, they found them, bro.
They found them, but it's a phony story, man.
You think that's not their ashes?
No.
It's ashes from humans, but it's not from them.
Not their DNA?
They're just trying to cover it up.
Well, that's the crazy part. Since they've supposedly been looking for them, they're coming across all these
other
bodies.
bodies that they're not even like worried about those. Yeah,
exactly. Well,
they're just bodies.
93% of the cases, homicides in Mexico
never even go solved.
They don't give a fuck, straight up.
They don't care. You see, it's pretty rough in Mexico, man. And that's if you look at the big picture about immigration, you have to really go back to the roots of the problem. I mean, immigration, it's a problem that's going to be a continuous problem. No matter how many people
exists since the beginning of the world.
Yeah, no matter how many people you legalize, in 10 years, it's going to be the same or probably double.
What's the statistics on that? There's like more people than ever.
Yeah, it's hard to get statistics because a lot of people, you cannot have a statistic on those kind of things.
It's like the census. It's like the census. If you go to Santa Ana, people are going to be like, 2 people live here when there's like 40 people in there and shit. Like el primo, la abuelita. People make a garage, they'll make that an apartment complex right there, and these conditions, man. I mean, okay, when you crossed, you said you crossed 2 times.
Twice.
Why was that?
Well, the first time was because my mom was sick. She couldn't take care of us. Nobody was there to take care of us, so we had family over here that had been here for a while. So we came here. My mom got better. Went back when I was 9. Then my mom unfortunately, she passed away when I was 12. So again, nobody was there to take care of us.
That, bro.
So that's okay. So we had to come back. This time, my dad, which I never met, he left my mom when I was probably like 6 months. He came here to work, and he was in the beginning. He was in touch with my mom. He was helping us out and everything. He lost touch, and then when he found out my mom passed away, he went back and, reclaimed us, you could say. And he was a U.S. citizen by then. So he tried to get visas for us, and they wouldn't give it to us, even though he was a U.S. citizen. He did the whole process and everything, and they didn't give us the visa. So
well, that's what I hear. Everybody's like, "Oh, I'm not against it as long as they do it legally," but they don't understand. It takes money. It takes time.
It takes money, time, and it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, and most of these people don't have the money. Yeah. They don't have the means to it. So it's like kind of like
you have to miss like days, like a whole week's of work just to get to an interview for the visa, for them not to tell you not you.
I feel like telling them, well, did the Native Americans say, hey, let me see your papers when they hit the East Coast, and like that, oh, that's so long ago, Mike. Why? No, it's not. I mean, this country was founded in 1776. We're in the year 2014, a little bit over 200 years. Come on, man. I mean, just the argument is invalid to me because they reduced the Native American population to less than 1%. And I constantly bring this up. And most of the people that are living here, the Native Americans, live on reservations. Most of them are alcoholics. They have the highest suicide rate. A lot of them are considered children of the ward, where the courts are the parents. And they're not even considered adults, and a lot of people don't understand this because nobody's talking about it. So, but back to the students. What was it that they're protesting?
Well, ironically, man, which is the saddest part, they were going to, you could say,
the mayor's
commemorate. Wife. They were gonna go commemorate another massacre that happened in '68. I don't know if you ever heard of Tlatelolco.
Yeah.
La masacre de Tlatelolco. It was students as well that were killed by the government.
And this is in the state of Guerrero?
No, this was in Mexico City.
Oh, Mexico City. Okay.
Mexico City. So these kids were really involved in that whole thing. And they were on their way over there, man. They were victims of another.
In a few buses, right? In a couple of buses?
Yeah, in a few buses, okay. And they were victims of the same thing, man.
But who was behind this? Was it the cartels or was it
actually,
the police?
Well, it was actually the mayor. What equals to the mayor over there. And he gave the order, but there's plenty.
Vasquez? How the fuck you say his last name?
Vasquez? I don't even know his name, man.
Velasquez, whatever the fuck.
Velasquez.
Whatever.
He gave the order, but there's plenty of politicians behind it, man, that they're covering up, they're protecting. And they got him. I mean, he was on the run for I think 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah. They caught him, but, they're just saying, okay, we got him, it's solved.
Yeah, and from what I've seen is that same day that they were going on the buses, I guess his wife was also having some sort of because she wanted to be the mayor.
They were
so it was the same day, and this was actually maybe a few miles from each other.
Yeah,
so
she was having a speech.
Yeah, she was having a speech, and they didn't want them to ruin it for her.
Correct.
So that's one of the main reasons why he called the shot.
The reason I bring her up because obviously there's a big cartel problem, and I guess the Beltran Leyva, they actually killed the main guys, and then they have another one called Guerreros Unidos, and she's supposedly the main person of that cartel.
Yeah.
So supposedly what happens in Mexico is that a lot of these states, over half of them are very corrupt because they get funded by the cartels. So the police, I saw the video, there's 3 of them, they get in front of them and behind them and start shooting at them.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then they start rounding them up, and then they take them on trucks and they disappear, and nobody knows where they're at.
They disappear. They have videos of it. They have audio, they have everything.
So this is why people want to live in Mexico, right? Because they want to be, and then people. This is the thing is that people wonder why people want to leave these third world countries.
Exactly.
And they just don't get it.
They don't. Yeah, it's rough over there, man.
And not only did the mayor and his wife flee, but the police chief, he also left. So that motherfucker's guilty too, because he's let me get the fuck out of here.
The governor even ended up resigning.
The governor resigned, and it was a big deal because. They didn't. I guess the government thought that since things like this happen all the time people were just gonna stay quiet.
Yeah.
But the thing they don't know about people from Guerrero, which is that state.
Well, what does the name Guerrero mean?
Guerrero, warrior. This people don't stay quiet, man.
United warriors.
They're indigenous people that don't stay quiet. They'll fight back.
And Guerrero is with the Gulf of Mexico, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And people might be like, oh, there's immigration. Well, the thing we're trying to bring up is that the corruption that exists in these countries, in these third world countries, that push people to want to leave these areas, correct?
Yeah.
Another thing that you wanted to bring up, you said your father left to work over here, and that's another thing. You go to some pueblos and towns in Mexico where there's nothing but females because all the men leave to come to America, and then a lot of them end up making they end up making a new life over here, got a new wife, and then they just forget about their family. I'm not saying that happens all the time, but it does happen.
No, it happens, it happens, and it's not like you decide to do it, man. It's just kind of like things of life.
It happens, man.
Because if you go back, then you can't come back in, and this is where the money's at. But again, the struggle. A lot of us don't recognize.
My dad helped us out for a while, man. I mean, I'm not talking.
You still talk to him?
Yeah, I talk to him and everything, and I understand now that I'm an adult. I understand things better, man.
For sure.
So if you don't have the money, you want to come to this country to have a better future, you have to jump on one of these trains with about 100 other people.
Yep.
Is that what you had to do, Ruben, after the forest incident?
Nah, they picked us up.
And then you came back though. You tried again, right?
Oh yeah, and actually, my second time, I knew how to speak English better, and actually crossed through the border with the immigration officers and everything. I just told them we hired a coyote. He gave me and my brother.
What is a coyote for people that don't understand?
Coyote is the people that helps you cross for money.
They're pretty much like the ringleader, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guy that tells you how it is.
They
what
do it
you're
for
gonna
free?
do. Oh no, man! Charge a lot of money.
Anywhere from
And
about 3 to 10 grand
32 grand now. Yeah, that's the price per person.
per person.
Per person.
And in Mexico, this
And
is
you
a
gotta
lot
be
of
careful.
money.
Oh yeah, man. That's like
Tons of money.
probably like 10 years worth of
Salary.
savings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And did you have any missionaries when you were on your way over here help you? Because I was watching a documentary, and these people on these trains, like, they're starving, they ain't got no money, they get robbed, and the missionaries are the only dudes that help them out before they get to the border. Were you fortunate enough to meet any of these people?
No, I did go to a house once I crossed. My dad was able to find a decent coyote because this people, you don't know anything about them, man.
They're usually linked to a cartel, right?
They could be linked to cartels. They could be you don't know.
They may
Okay.
want sex for an exchange. For
They might rape the women.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
So they said that people have walked hundreds of...
I went to a house.
Motherfucker, let me talk. Go ahead.
Hey.
Go ahead.
I'm the host.
All right.
Special guest.
I'm in guest.
I know, man, you fucking protested and shit, man. You're pretty
I did,
awesome.
Yeah, then,
Here you are right here protesting.
when I was little, my mom was a teacher in
Where's
Mexico, and we used to go to protests all the time. Since I was little, man, I used to walk down the streets. In Mexico, it's really common, man, to see protests down the streets against the government. People stand up against the government.
Yeah.
You know? And that was back in that picture you just showed. That was back in when El PRI, which is a corrupt political party,
Who was in power over 100 years?
yeah, and we actually got them out of power for 10 years only, but
And now they're back.
Now they're back, yeah, worse than ever. And that was me and my brother and a couple of other friends, which were illegal too. We're in the Mexican embassy down in Main Street in Santa Ana, and we were protesting, man. It was just us. It was just us.
That's what it takes, though. It takes
You know,
one
it
person to
doesn't-
start.
Exactly, and we don't do it because a lot of people say, "Well, what are you gonna change?" You know, like, is that really gonna make a difference? I'm like, it's not about that, man. It's about making other people
Aware.
of what's going on and get that little
Because
curiosity of
the
like, hey,
mainstream
what's
media
going
is
on?
not showing it.
Exactly.
I mean, I turn on Univision and all this. These
They
people don't
showed
even look
nothing.
Mexican.
They showed nothing about it, man.
Well,
nothing.
the American media isn't showing anything about these 43 students
Nothing.
because I believe they're involved.
Yeah.
Because, again, who runs the cartels? The CIA. And people don't want to believe it, but there's been planes
Oh,
that have
that's-
crashed in Yucatan with 3.2 metric tons of cocaine in a CIA plane. How do you explain that? Or the Panama Canal. Come
I
on.
believe it,
Manuel Noriega. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And these people are so
There's
blinded.
corruptions at that level that people don't even know about.
They don't comprehend how interlaced this is. And back to the PRI that I want to touch on. Who was the one that started the drug war against the cartels? It was a PAN, right?
It was Calderon. Well, it was
Vicente Fox?
Pan left power, which was Vicente Fox.
Which
and
people
then
don't know.
when
That's
it
like
started.
Republicans and Democrats, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Then Calderon, which was from PAN as well, he was the one that declared the war on war, which lasted for about 10 years. And what people, you see, this is the thing about the drug wars, man, that there was no drug wars before El PRI left, because El PRI and the cartels were all linked.
They're buddies.
As soon as the PRI left is when everything just went downhill, because there was no leader anymore. You know, and there was nobody to do business with or deals with or have the green lights for. To do
Have the politicians in their pockets.
Exactly.
Pretty much turn a blind eye.
So it's like a new boss. You know, new boss. There's gonna be this corruption again.
Yeah.
You know, corruption within their own businesses.
Yeah.
So that's why all these new cartels wanted to like start their own little businesses, you could say.
So you believe in ending the drug war?
Man, I think drugs, and this is something like immigration, and it's always going to be there. It's just how you
Not let it get out of control.
exactly.
I mean,
It is out of control, though. It is out of control.
It's out of control, man.
If you legalize it, you have a chance of crippling the cartels because there goes their business when it's everywhere and they don't have that control anymore. You see, and people are not dying over this anymore, and the cartels cannot, threaten people because they don't have that power anymore. It's done. It's everywhere. You got to legalize it, man. You have to.
Well, in Mexico, it's actually they decriminalized a lot of drugs.
A lot of drugs.
you could get caught with coke, heroin. It's like a slap on the hand. Don't do it again.
Yeah.
Pretty much marijuana is legal in a way. They really don't care anymore. They're going out. They have such bigger problems to deal with.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely.
And a lot of people.
Drugs are. People sometimes can't even afford drugs over there, man. Not even weed. I mean, it's not like here in the U.S. where you can just $20 it's like nothing, man. You can just buy a little 20 sack. Over there, $20 is like, man, that's your like money for the week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You eat, you have to, that's your bus ticket, that's everything, man. So you have to decide.
How'd you get your citizenship?
My dad.
And you paid for it?
He paid.
That's cool. That was nice of him to do that.
He paid like $4,000 for
Dang.
us, for each. So he ended up paying like $12,000. So it was $12,000. It was me and my two other brothers. It took about 4 to 5 years, man, the process. I couldn't work until I was like 19, dude. So technically when you met me, Louis, I was illegal, bro. Sorry to tell you.
That's crazy.
And that's why I have a lot of respect because, I'm an American. I can say that. But the people that have helped me most of my life are people that, like your cousin Carlos, right?
Yeah.
That dude helped me when I got kicked out in the
right.
streets when I was.
Totally forgot you used to live with us.
Yeah, you fucking forgot when I was in the.
Who's this? It's your primo.
I was in the garage one
This guy
time.
used to live in our garage, bro.
Yeah, and then thanks for clowning me, bro. I mean, fuck. So I'm living in this guy's garage for about 2 years, and Ruben forgot that I lived there at one point. So he wanted to check up on me.
We wouldn't hear from this guy for like a week, bro. We would like go knock on his door, like.
Yeah,
Hey,
it'd be like a fucking swamp, man. You'd be in there, and it'd be like
We'll
a
start
forest.
smell of a foul smell. We'll go knock on his door. Hey, bro, you're alive?
And I'd be like this in the cave. Look at the screen right here. I'm in a cave, and I'm like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Let me be.
Yeah, and one thing I want to touch on, I know we're talking a lot about Mexico, and that's the main thing is that when people say illegal immigration, right away, the Mexicans. But the funny thing to me is that you go to Irvine, I mean, it's all a bunch of Asians, a bunch of Middle Easterns. I actually went to high school in Irvine, and I remember, because I was trying to explain to Lou that there's different types of Mexicans. You got your paisas, your huepacs, your Hispanics, your Mexicans, your Chicanos, Latinos.
Classes,
That's within us. And,
exactly.
And I remember they used to refer a lot of people as FOBs, which is FOB for fresh off the boat. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm missing a T there.
Yeah.
Fresh off the boat.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. And a lot of these people, that's what upsets me is that when they say illegal immigration, it's always blamed on the Latinos and Mexicans. But my thing is, hey, we were already American. This is the North America, Central America, South America. So that makes everybody an American. Yes or no?
Exactly.
Los Tigres del Norte, they're a band who say that. They're like, we are Americans. What are you talking about? We didn't come in a boat. We didn't come across the ocean. We didn't want you here to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And me, I'm a hybrid because, see, I'm the reverse. I was born in America, and I moved to Mexico during the 90s with the president at the time was Carlos Salinas de Gortari, and he was just a fucking crook.
That was one of the worst ones.
One of the
man.
worst. See, you know what I'm talking about. So we moved to Mexico during one of the worst recessions at that time in Mexico, and people did not accept me. They saw me, they're like, oh, you're...
Oh, that's when you came over here?
No, I went to... I was born here,
Uh-huh.
and then I went to Mexico. I'm the reverse.
Oh, okay, got you.
And the thing, the reason I bring
when
this
you were
up...
going over there, I was coming over here.
Yeah, and it's difficult for people to, you're saying about the visa. It's just as difficult for Americans to go to Mexico and be accepted because they did not accept me. They're like, pocho,
Yep.
You're a pocho.
What's that mean?
A pocho is pretty much somebody
That's
who's born in America, whose parents are
coconut.
Mexicans. Pretty much a coconut. There you go. That would be the American term.
And
for
that's
it.
racism within our own.
That's what I want to bring up is that there's racism within our own country.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
And
definitely.
I mean, it's Mexicans against Mexicans. And the thing about there is that immigration has stricter immigration laws in the United States.
Exactly.
If they find you coming from El
cannot-
Salvador, Guatemala, they're going to send you back. They're going to send you back. Yeah.
Oh, you just
Most of
can't
these
do
people on the
anything,
trains
man.
aren't Mexican. They're Central American or South American. It's
Leave them
not-
alone.
yeah.
Leave them alone. They just want to live. Hey, but why would you think that people don't accept you in that culture over there.
Because they see you as not
I see
being
it's different.
full-blooded.
Exactly.
They don't see you as being born on the land, on the homeland.
Just
It's
like here, like.
But the logic was that, like you were saying, Ruben, this is the indigenous land. This was Mexico.
Well, that was the thing.
Why be angry over that? Why be so ignorant?
You know what? I think it's the biggest
is that we have
factor
papers.
here, man, is education.
Yeah.
Once you educate yourself, man, you start understanding what it's all about.
That's
how,
right.
How things work, how it was, why we're here. You start understanding. I'm not saying you start liking. You start understanding other cultures.
Yeah.
And their different social classes. You know what I mean?
Right. You're not stuck in that world of the same shit over and over.
Within our own people, like you said, there's like the paisas, like the pochos, like the cool guys,
and they're all different.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all very different.
And when I hear the word paisas, it really pisses me off because I feel like it's again another hate word for your own kind. Like, why call someone that? Mike, we were breaking that down earlier.
I was actually explaining to him it's not paisa. It's short from paisano.
Paisano is not. It's like a comrade.
Yeah, there you go.
Because when people would say
here, it's actually it's like a derogatory.
It's like
term.
the N word.
Yeah, when someone said it in high school, I'd see somebody pointing, go, look at that fucking paisa, and he's riding a fucking mountain bike.
We actually did that ourselves here. Just to kind of.
That's an American thing.
Yeah, it's an American thing. In Mexico, you say, "Hey, paisa," it's like, "Hey, comrade," like. How you doing?
Right.
Yeah. And one thing I try to explain to people that my family or friends that live in Mexico, I try to explain to them, like, you guys don't understand America. You think it's so easy over there. It's not. You got white people, you got black people, you got Chinese people, you got Ethiopian, you got Indian, you just have so many different cultures, so many different languages. That's why people in Santa Ana, what do you think? Mexicans, Westminster, Garden Grove, mostly Asians, Vietnamese. You go to Irvine, you got a lot of Middle Easterns.
Within your own community.
And that's why actually Lou was bringing this up. He's like, because on the previous show I know that I said that people that come here need to learn the language and they need to assimilate, and I truly feel that way because when I went to Mexico, I didn't have a fucking option to speak English. Yeah. No, I had to learn. I didn't have an option, so why should these people have an option?
You guys are gonna have to learn English, guys.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I remember
I agree with that.
I remember, and that's not being racist or anything. That's just being educate yourself.
Exactly.
It's like my grandpa. He started with coffee, donut, and then he expanded his vocabulary. Although throughout his life he mostly spoke Spanish, but yet he understood English very well.
But coffee, milk, and donuts.
You have to understand and speak the language enough to where you can communicate with society around.
Correct.
You know, I'm not saying you have to get your bachelor's in
no,
language science or
Dude,
anything,
I grew up in LA County for 15 years, and nobody was speaking Spanish because it was a blend of Asians, blacks, Mexicans. I moved to Orange County when I was 16, and I had to go to a liquor store or a gas station and get some gas, and the lady didn't speak any English. I'm like, can I get this much money on? She's like, ¿qué? I'm like, what the fuck? Where am I? And I don't feel like that anymore.
Did you come to Mexico by accident?
And Santa Ana basically is, because you have so much diversity there and so much opportunity there. I congratulate those people.
I agree with you though, man. I mean, if you come to this country, you have a duty.
You do
to learn the language enough to where you can communicate. You can answer to somebody when they speak to you.
Yeah. If you go to any other country, you have to assimilate. Exactly. It's just common sense, and I hate using the word common sense. But the thing is, another point I want to bring up. I remember I took my first test when I was out there, and over there you have the public school and the private schools, and my parents were really, really hard to send us to a private school because the public schools are no joke over there. They are no joke,
man. They take grammar seriously.
Yeah, well, the one thing about education in Mexico is that it's much more advanced than it is in America.
A lot more,
despite being a third world country and having less iPads, computer technology, and all that stuff. But the point I wanted to bring up was that I remember taking my first test and I had a 0, and I mean, numbers it doesn't matter. Multicultural numbers, everybody understands a 0. And I started crying. I was in third grade.
I hope 0 means A here.
I hope it's. Am I missing? Well, over there they actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is like an A.
Yeah, 10
9 is like
a
B, and it goes down
6
and so on and so on.
6 is like a C or a D. 6
so,
like a D.
So during my experience, they call it, because over there they have English class, not like here, but where they teach you how to learn English. So the English teacher took me under her wing, started teaching me, and I actually I was at an age just like you were when you came. You're like a sponge. Your mind soaks it
it's
up.
a lot easier.
By the time I was in 6th grade, I was getting straight A's, and at that point in time, my parents were like, hey, guess what? We're moving back to America. So we drop everything, come back to America.
How'd you feel?
See you, suckers.
How'd you feel about that?
It was difficult. As much as I respect my parents with the utmost respect. My mother and my father, they've always worked so hard. Nothing was easily given to them. They didn't win the lottery. We don't have any 401k, anything like that. They came over here and they worked their asses off every fucking day, 9 to 5, to put food on the table. That's how it is. And they moved us out. They try to take us to the nice areas, the suburbs. And at that point in time, where we had moved was Rancho Santa Margarita, which back in the day, in the 95, 96, nobody knew what the fuck that was or where it was. But the only other Mexicans were the gardeners. Yeah. Straight up. And everybody was pretty much Caucasian, was white, or, mostly whitewashed people. And I remember, everybody thinks of Santa Ana or LA like, oh, the gangs. But white people have gangs too. They're called Nazis and neo-Nazis and the KKK. And I remember I used to have to walk home different routes so that I wouldn't get jumped or picked on by these kids. But I never said a damn thing because I know how hard my parents were working to give us a better life and give us a better education. So I used to get picked on, honestly, half the days out of the week because when I came back, I remember this vividly. I had a backpack that was burgundy. It was a burgundy colored. I've always liked the color purple. I've always liked the color burgundy and things like that. And I would get picked on like that. They'd say, oh, you're a fucking faggot. Da, da. And I mean, what are you going to do when you come out here? You have no friends. You're a loner and you got like fucking 5-10 people talking shit to you. You just shut up and just deal with it, And I had to deal with that for a couple of years. And it was tough, man. It really was. And I didn't tell my parents until recently. And my parents were like, we were never aware. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly how I meant to keep it,
Yeah.
Seriously, fool?
Sorry,
you're in the middle of a live broadcast show around the world, man. 24/7.
Sorry, I got the president on the line. I'll call him back.
So how do you guys feel about amnesty? Wait, let me pull this up. When people say there's people waiting in line and there's people hopping over the wall just cutting in line and shit, what do you feel about that when people say that?
Well, like I said, man, I think immigration is one of those problems. It's not going to stop.
Very sensitive.
You have to, it's very sensitive, man. You have to really go back to the root of the problem. Like I said, corruption in Mexico, it's huge, man.
But so many presidents have already given amnesty to so many people, and it's not just Obama. If you look at the history of this country, what are we based on? Immigrants. This is a land of immigrants.
Exactly.
There's that video that I sent to you or I posted about.
For.
I mean, look at Ellis Island. That's where all the people would come into, from all the Europeans and Middle East and all that stuff. That's where they would hit, and they would see what? The Statue of Liberty. But things have changed, man. It really has morphed, and it's unfortunate. As far as amnesty goes, what's your take on it, Lou?
I don't know.
You for it?
I really can't say much because I know the struggle that these people go through, but you have those people out there that are like, you're fucking illegal. You've been here. I mean, that word alone just bothers me because illegal sounds so wrong,
Illegal is not the one that bothers me. It's alien that bothers me the most. It really is because they start painting a picture like you're not human. They demonize you. They take you away from being a human. My problem is this, and I could understand where Republicans and other people are coming from. And it's not just Republicans, because Democrats too. They're abusing the health care. They're having kids. They're getting these checks for 18 years. I'm a citizen of America. I could go to the doctor right now, and I'll get hit with a bill. Illegals come here. They get free health care. My mom always told me this because she's always worked in the medical field. She's like, hey, Mike, she's like, these people come. She's like, they have anchor babies. And I'm not saying it's everybody. Don't get me wrong. Let me finish really quick, though. They're saying they're having these babies. As soon as they have it, they pay not one bill. They're getting a car seat. They're getting formula. They're getting Pampers. They get WIC. They're getting welfare. They're getting EBT. And some people just take advantage of it. I remember my mom told me back in the 70s, 80s, it was very easy to become a citizen. And people back in the day, I remember they would tell my grandpa, "Oh, Lázaro, you gotta go get welfare. It's free." And my grandfather had a lot of pride. He said, "No, I'm gonna work. He said, I'm not gonna do that." He's all, "That's for people who really, really need it." And the problem is that I might even have family or friends that might get mad at me for saying this, but they're abusing it.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
They really are.
That starts at home, man. Like how you're raised. If you're raised with the mentality that you have to work for your stuff, you can't be living off of freebies.
But it's not only the Mexicans taking advantage of it. It's the blacks, it's whites, it's everybody. Yeah. But we live in a country now where 50% of the people living here are on some sort of medical assistance, or not medical, government assistance. You know what I'm saying? So it's that's why they call Obama a welfare president and stuff. But so I could understand where people are upset with illegal. And
that's definitely a problem.
The biggest bullshit is they're taking our jobs. I really disagree with you, Julia. If you're listening to this, I disagree with you. And if you're saying McDonald's, I really doubt that most people are illegal working at McDonald's, because out here in the friendly city of Costa Mesa, they have ICE, which will raid places, and they
Yeah, they'll do it.
They'll
man,
raid places, they raid factories, and they get these people. And the thing is that it's kind of worse than the Patriot Act, where they kind of detain you in these large type of warehouse, prison type places, and you have no access to a lawyer, no access to a telephone. You don't even speak the language, you know. So they do have it pretty bad. And we live in California, so one of the big things is obviously the Hispanic influence. But yeah, there's a lot of problems that I could see with it.
Obama's talking about allowing 5 million people to register and they won't be deported. They won't have the fear of being deported. But what about the 5 million people that are waiting in line?
Obama's a hypocrite. He's deported more people than any other president, bro.
Yeah, he's deported around 2 million people, estimated.
Breaking up families, bro.
He claims he wants to deport just the criminals, Ruben, that's you. Instead, he's deporting families, you know.
That's not good, man.
He's deported more people than George Bush has in his 8 years, dude. That's crazy when I hear that, because everyone looks at this dude. I had a friend in particular who we're not friends anymore because I told him, fuck Obama. You know, this dude is crazy. This guy is lying to us in our face. He's a puppet. He's taking orders from someone else. And he's like, you know, no, man, we have to have faith in this guy. Amnesty, you know. And I'm like, dude, look at the fucking numbers. So that's one of the big problems I have. Another problem is, you know, with undocumented people is how do we identify these people that are criminals? If they are drunk and driving, they kill somebody. I was at a bar a couple months ago, and I hear a loud bang outside. I run outside to see what's going on, and I see someone running. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I go back in the bar. I call my pops. I'm like, yo, follow me. So we come outside, and we run over there, and there's a car upside down. And apparently this car had hit another car that made it flip over, and the dude got out the car and took off running because he was probably drunk. You know, I'm not saying he's undocumented, but he was drunk and he didn't want to get caught. But what about those that don't have social securities, that don't have identification, and they're criminals? How are we supposed to find these people or even have a clue who they are?
Well, that's why I think Obama wants to implement this, because most people know that when you hit, you run. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just kind of like a unwritten law, and most of the times people are scared. So January 2015 in California, we're supposed to start giving illegals licenses. I'm for it, personally, because if you have a license, you can get insurance. Most people who don't have a license aren't going to have insurance, straight up. And the thing is, another thing is, you know, these people, they have the checkpoints for see if you're DUI. It's bullshit. They're trying to see if you have a license. You don't have a license, okay, you possibly getting deported, and they're taking your car impounded for an automatic 30-day hold, which is over $1,000. On top of that, you got to pay fees. It's just
okay. With that said, though, Obama said you have to be here for 5 years. How the fuck are we going to track that when these people cannot register? They can't go to the DMV to get that permit. They can't do anything. How is he supposed to determine they've been here for 5 years?
That's very difficult.
People, like Ruben said, people are fucking hiding, man. They're not trying to, you know, I'm not home. Nobody's home. You're knocking on the door. I'm not here. Because they're terrified of being in a land that has a better opportunity, which is crazy. So you, what do you guys think about overcrowding, though? You know, I go to the welfare department, and it's filled with women with babies. They don't speak English. Ruben, how do you feel about, you know, overcrowding?
That is a problem, man. That's a big problem. And like I said, it starts in the...
Get closer to the mic.
Like I said, it starts in the family. We kind of forget. I think as generations go by, they grow older, they forget how much struggle it was to come to this country and what it takes to earn your own money, man. You know, your money. People have it a little bit too easy sometimes, and we forget.
I give them the most respect for crossing this desert. Have you seen this picture right here? These people are walking in the hot sun. A lot of them won't make it. A lot of them will die of dehydration. They have water jugs right here. They got to sleep on the floor. There's bears out there. There's patrols that are looking for them. Drones in the sky now, and with technology now, it's almost impossible to get in this country.
Yeah.
That's why I support underground tunnels. Bring me my weed. I'm just kidding, dude. No. I really feel bad for these people, and who am I? My grandparents came here, man, for me to be here, sitting here, being able to talk. Who am I to say you can't come here, dude?
You know what pisses me off, though, is the people that come here and work really hard, and then the kids that are just spoiled rotten. They have no clue of their roots. Mm-hmm. They have no clue of their culture.
The problem.
They don't even know like the basics of their own language, their heritage.
Sometimes people aren't even ashamed of their own parents.
Oh man,
because of their backgrounds, because they don't speak the language. They think their
or
parents
because they're
are
a
ignorant.
Janitor, or because of their job.
They think their parents are ignorant, and that makes you a bad human being, man.
I have more.
Yes, sir.
You know, to counter the whole thing about the jobs and all this, just an example I have. When you go off the freeway, you'll probably see a Hispanic-looking person or Latino trying to sell oranges or flowers, and then you'll see mostly a white person or a black person asking for free money.
You see that,
and that's the difference between the culture. I'm not gonna say everybody's a great worker, but Hispanics fucking work, man. Yeah. If you go to a Benihana's, like I love that restaurant. Our chefs and our cooks are always Hispanic, bro.
Yeah.
If you go anywhere, who do you think works at hotels? It's mostly Hispanic people. Any restaurants you go to, I don't care what type of restaurant it is, mostly the cooks are Mexican or Hispanic, bro. And that's the thing is that people don't understand is that we're taking jobs. Yeah, they're taking jobs that you don't want. The minimum wage jobs, the ones with no 401k, the one with no benefits, no vacation, no paid sick leave. If you call in sick, guess what? You're losing your job and we'll get another person. People waiting out all day at Home Depot just trying to get a job. You know what I'm saying?
One of my good buddies.
Sometimes they don't even get anything, man. They just stand there all.
And I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying a large majority of people do want to come here to work.
Yeah.
And then the people that are Americans go, well, we could have used those jobs. It's like, yo, it's not even so much the immigrants. It's the big corporations that are shipping the jobs off to China where slaves, children, and women work all day long, 16-hour shifts.
Exactly.
For free.
Yeah, and another thing I want to touch on is I could understand why people get upset because they're, oh, well, they're not paying taxes because they're getting paid under the table. Are your corporations in America paying taxes? Is Pepsi paying taxes? Is Apple paying taxes? Are all these? No, they're not. They're not paying any taxes. They're getting tax breaks. That's the thing about this country is that people don't understand. That's why I listen to these ignorant people and it's just like, send them back. Okay, let's send them back. Let's just say let's send them all back. 90% of them end up in Tijuana, TJ. And you know what the problem happens there is that these people are just going to try to cross right back over here.
And what if they're not even from Mexico? They're dropping them off in TJ? Fuck it. Leave them here. We can't go any further.
Well, the thing is one thing that I want to touch on too. So African Americans are considered illegal immigrants, right? They were brought here against their will, right? Why don't we send them all back to Africa? And people don't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to sound racist. It's not. It's just something that I want to bring up. If you want to get real technical, it's like, well, African American.
Check out this picture.
You know what I mean?
Name the country built on the genocide of one race and the enslavement of another. Now, that's an eye-opener. That's a mind-blower because everyone thinks America is the greatest country on earth, which I think it is, but where was it built on? Slaves and murdering innocent people, for their territory.
The United States is
I
not
agree with you, man.
It's like Palestine.
I love the U.S., man.
Yeah, I do too.
I love the women.
And I'm proud to be American. I'm not ashamed of it. But one thing I think I said on a previous show too, the reason it's called the land of the free because everything was stolen and never paid for.
Ooh.
That's the reality of it. That's the reality.
We're back to the show.
Can I get some chips and salsa with some guacamole?
Show!
What up, ladies and gentlemen? I got Ruben, my old-time friend from back in the day, Muscle Man. Look at this guy. And I got muchas gracias for the muscles. And I got one and only Mike in the spot.
Yeah. Salud.
Salud.
And I'm DJ Lou. So we're going to kick this shit off with this video right here.
That's my man right there.
I've seen that. That's
People want to know what this video is. It's about a man who's speaking the truth.
You're all fucking illegal. You're all illegal. You're all illegal. We didn't invite none of you here. We're the only Native Americans here. That's right. We're the only Native Americans here. You're all illegal. We didn't invite none of you. Exactly. We didn't invite none of you. Exactly. Get on with your bogus arguments. Get on with your bogus arguments. We're the only legal ones here.
We have Native Americans here.
Not good enough.
We should have put that sign up when you son of a bitches came.
Damn.
Yeah, that's right.
That was sick and
It
sick.
represents blood. That represents blood spilled by Native Americans.
That kind of bugs me right there, though. It just.
Well, there is a dark history about all that, man.
I know, but when
There's some pretty jacked up shit that went on, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they used to burn these people. They used to torture them. They used to do a lot of stuff.
Rape their women.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Really
so,
bad stuff.
dude, I got so much respect for Hispanics, for anyone that comes here legally or illegally, because of how hard they want a better future,
But you know what? Touching on that video, even Obama just recently gave an address, which a lot of major corporation media outlets did not even show. But he even said, unless you're Native American, you came from somewhere else. You know what I mean? Or something along those lines.
Well, why do you think that the corporations didn't show a shit?
Because obviously they do not agree with immigration. Immigration is a very, very touchy subject. But again, it goes to the taxes. Think about it. Who's employing these people? I'm not. I don't own a business. Who's employing them? The people are employing them because, look, number one, they pay no taxes. Number two, they're paying no taxes. When you're a corporation and you have an employee, you pay double taxes.
Save money.
They want to save money. They're all profit driven. The reason they did not show it is because they don't want people to agree with it because they're against amnesty. And the thing is, they twist everything that the president's saying. And yeah, what he's saying, you know what? It is going to be tough. It is going to be hard. But nothing's been easy in America. And the thing is, even with the riots going on in Ferguson right now, showing all the black people and stuff, that's all staged also. The media is just showing them as criminals. But then if you look back in the day, white people used to riot, army people, all the people in the service used to riot against blacks and take pictures with beating up people. But they're not showing that. This was in the 60s. I was born in 83. It's not that long ago that this happened. And the thing I hate is like, oh, that's so long ago, bro. Mike, why are you bringing up old shit for, bro? And that's the reason history repeats itself.
Because we forget history, definitely.
It's No, it's not that we forget. They're not teaching us. That's the problem. Yeah. They're not teaching us. You have to
find out for yourself.
But our grandparents should be teaching us, and our parents.
They're dead, bro. They're dead.
Some of them.
Most of my grandparents. Well,
same here. Same here.
Yeah, moving in with Ruben and his cousin was one of the only things I had an option to do when I was 18. My dad kicked me out to the streets. I had nowhere to go. Ruben's cousin, who's so damn cool, he even sold me a car. I mean, that was so fucking cool of him to do. And I had an opportunity to go. The second time I got kicked out, I called Craigslist, or I looked up Craigslist, called an old woman, moved in with her, and I paid only $400 a month. Like, you go anywhere else, it's like $650, $800 to rent out a room. And it was pretty cheap. So considering that, I mean. And then the third time I moved in with my homeboy Bowin, who's not here today. Shout out to my boy Bowin, one of my good friends, who's wasn't here legally, was born here or was brought here when he was 2 years old, and he's been here ever since. And they still he's still afraid to go around and go to work and take the bus because
he can't do anything.
He's afraid of getting locked up, getting deported to a country he knows nothing about.
One thing I want to touch on too is, like, I remember back in the day, we used to go party a lot in Rosarito, which is probably about 20 minutes south of the border from San Diego and Tijuana and TJ. And I used to always invite one of my really good friends. I'm like, hey, bro, we got to go to Rosarito. It's going to be bad. It's dope. And he would always be like, oh, I felt like he was making excuses, until finally he's like, hey, let's go to Mexico. I was like, hey, fool, you never want to go before? He's like, well, that's because I never wanted to tell you, but I didn't have my papers. He's all, I couldn't go. He's all, if I go, I would stay. And one thing I want to touch on is a lot of people, when they're little, they come as they're little, they think they're American, and then they go, they want to go to college, they want to go to university. And they're like, hey, you're not a citizen, you're not a legal resident, and they encounter a lot of problems. That's why you got the Dreamers. The Dream Act was also very controversial with a lot of people. This is the way I see it. If you got money for war, you should have money for illegals to go to. You should have money for them.
Trying to educate yourself,
exactly.
Man,
those are the type of people you want.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Those are people that are going to help the economy.
Not the criminals.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. You're a criminal, you're out.
Look at Einstein. Einstein was not American. He was not American. Yep. What would America have done without Einstein? He was the one that helped get the atomic bomb, and we dropped that shit on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And again, the difficulty of being a person going to this country and labeled illegal or UFO, whatever the fuck you want to call them, I think it's so fucked up. One of my best friends, again, is an illegal. He's finally got his permit to stay here. One of the things that sucks about it, though, is that he works at a place where they mistreat him. He works crazy hours, and his boss doesn't give a fuck. Like, come in to work on Saturday. Like, dude, I work 5 days already. Nope, come in on Saturday. You got to finish. We're busy. You got to keep. And he doesn't get paid right. He doesn't have any insurance. I mean, the dude's working his butt off trying to make a living and sustain.
It's a new age slave.
For all the people that come here, man.
I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah, definitely, me too. That's the life.
And it's not like people that are born here. You have an option for a job. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just crazy.
So, can we get into some of the more crazier shit, like living in Mexico and the gun shit? Remember we went to Mexico, Ruben?
Yep.
And we're having a great time.
We went in your van.
Yeah, you fuckers told me I could drive with beer in my car, and we're drinking beer and driving around. And the first thing I see is a fucking checkpoint, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like,
weren't they gonna take
And
your
those
van
are
away or
militaries,
something like that?
right?
Are they gonna take you to jail? Or
can I
something
finish
like
the fucking story?
Go
So
ahead.
we get pulled over. No, we didn't get pulled over. It's a checkpoint. So we slow down and they're like looking in the car and then they let us go for some reason. I was like, yes, fucking cool. So like, we're still driving around with beers in the car, drinking and shit. And these fools are telling me it's okay. We can do it here in Mexico. And it was cool. Everything was safe. I'm driving through the streets of Tijuana. We're just cruising. We finally get back to the motel. Right around the corner, we get pulled over. Yeah. And then the fucking cops come out. I roll down the window. I don't speak a word of Spanish, so they're like asking me shit. And I'm like, what is this fool saying? Ruben, translate for me. And then they're like, just lie to him. Say you haven't drank.
Just see
Say
me
you
running
haven't.
in the rearview mirror, running away from the van.
And I'm like, yo. He's like, have you had anything to drink? And this was like 3 foot tall. I'm like, no, nothing to drink. He's like, breathe. I'm like, what? He's like, breathe. I'm like, okay. He's like, you lied to me. Get out the car. I'm like, fuck. I'm going to jail. And then I get out the car. I go to the back of the van, and he's talking to me in Spanish. And I'm like, I don't speak Spanish. And he's like, okay. He's doing some of this shit. I'm like,
Hola, ¿cómo está? Tú eres bota galvanito. Eres tan muy balar. Eres tan muy falasta. Eres tan bota-
and I'm like, what? What are you saying, sir? I don't understand you. And he's basically saying, we're going to take you to jail tonight because you lied to me. And I'm like, man up. Okay. He's like, ¿qué? I'm like, okay, fucking take me to jail now. I'm like, Ruben, you better get me the fuck out of jail, man. I'm so pissed off. And one of his partners, the policeman, walked over to the van and was talking to Ruben, and eventually, basically, we had to pay them. You know, he's like, how much money you got? Because the tow truck's coming right now. We have to pay the tow truck guy because he's wasting his time.
You know how
That's
they
the
like
that's the
how they
theory
like
he
to
gave.
scare you. Oh, the tow truck is coming, but how much money do you have?
Yeah, because we have to cancel that, and he's gonna get mad because he had to drive
Bro.
over here.
I love, I'm for some corruption. That's one thing I love about Mexico, is that you could bribe the fucking cops, man. I mean, I can't imagine doing that here in America. And
One of the most
how much did you pay him?
Hold on. Well, the reason why he got so upset was that I didn't have a license with me. I had an identification card, but I'm like, it's the same thing. Look it up in your computer. He's like, we don't have computers. I'm like, oh, sorry.
We don't have money for computers, you dumbass.
So I'm super pissed off. Like,
But
dude,
how much money you got? We'll buy
We're gonna
one.
have to go to the library.
I'm gonna get raped in fucking jail. Thanks a lot, Ruben, for telling me I can drink and drive. I pulled out $40, and he's like,
I'm pretty sure we told you it wasn't legal. I'm pretty sure we told you it was okay.
no, you said it's cool. Go ahead, no problem.
It's cool does not mean legal,
Yeah,
bro.
exactly.
'Cause in
You
Ruben's mind-
you twisted my words.
You bent the truth. Because in Ruben's mind, it's not illegal until you get caught.
Exactly.
Just like you haven't got a DUI till you finally got caught, motherfucker. You got pulled over how many times? Anyway, so that was an experience that I never want to go through again. I hate Mexico now, and I'm afraid of the federales who have assault weapons when we're going. Remember we were at the bar, and we came out of the bar, and they slammed us
Hey,
against
bro.
the wall, and
I
then the
know.
cameraman was filming us so they can look good on TV. I was like, what the fuck are you doing this shit to us for?
That's right. We were filming.
What? Mexican cops.
It was on Univision.
Univision.
Univision. Yeah, I can't even pronounce that shit. bro.
Oh shit,
Good
dude! I
old
didn't even
Mexico.
remember that shit, bro.
Of course you don't, fool. You black out all the time.
No, I didn't remember until right now that you're bringing it up.
Yeah. Those are some experiences that we had, and
You were young. We were young.
Hey, live and learn, right?
Yeah. No.
young and dumb. What do you want from us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, remember when you saved me from that girl, dude? That she was chasing me with your van?
Oh, yeah,
When you
yeah.
picked me up?
Again, man, crazy illegals. No, I'm just kidding. Ruben, we were at a bar one time, and Ruben was getting drunk with some chick who apparently he was cool with at school, and I don't know, for some reason she got really
She
mad.
got mad, bro. She wanted to kick my ass.
She
She was
flipped.
chasing me down the street. She was literally chasing me down the street. I was running. She was running behind me. And she was a heavy girl too. I don't know how the hell she could run so fast.
Probably on meth.
And
Nah,
and
bro,
all of a
it's not-
sudden I see a van.
No, her footsteps sounded like this. She destroyed my car too.
And all of a sudden, next to me, I see this van pull up, and the door is wide open, and I see Lewis is like, "Get in, get in!"
Mission
So,
Impossible
dude,
status.
I don't even stop. I literally jump onto the van.
Was this TJ?
No, it was right here in the US.
Oh.
And we just see the girl running towards the van still.
It was like Terminator
It was
all
like-
over again.
That's crazy,
Dude,
man.
she didn't stop, bro. she
didn't
kept on
stop.
running.
What about the time you were about to get hit with a TV?
You must have smelled like some tacos de
Oh,
carne asada.
that was fun too, bro. One time we got into this little brawl. Me and some other guys, and it was me, Lewis, and this other homie, and this this dude picked up a TV, bro, and like I hit him first, right? I hit him first, and he was gonna hit me back, but I don't know, I was just too quick, and he wasn't able to hit me, so he got mad, and he picked up this little TV, one of those big fat ones, dude, not like
the old school ones.
Yeah, the old school ones, and like he literally threw it at me, and I saw that thing coming, bro, and I just ducked.
No, you're skipping a part though. He was gonna throw it at you, and you were like getting ready to duck, so you were doing them Super Mario shit.
That's right. I was going like this, and he was like, I'm like,
just like Super Mario, bro.
Can't we all just get along?
It was like this.
That was, yeah. I was like, the dude was like.
You had a minute to believe it. It was too funny.
Too much.
Too many good times,
I
man.
just had to remember that, dude. That was
too many
fun.
good times. Hey, so what do you think about what's going on in Ferguson, man? Because that dude got away with killing that kid, and the same thing with Eric Gardner, man. That fool that got choked out, that black dude. Have you been keeping up with the news?
That's right. Yeah, in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, that was crazy, bro. I'm pretty sure that dude didn't mean to kill him.
Right. And that's what a lot of people
but it
don't
happened,
see.
man. You know what? This cops, bro, they need like more intensive training on how to detain somebody, bro. Because choking somebody is not the right way.
Well, it's been banned since 1993.
Yeah, you don't choke somebody, man.
You know what the most craziest part is about the Eric Gardner situation in New York? You know who got indicted? The guy who was videotaping them.
Oh, really?
That guy got indicted.
Yeah.
And
what does that mean, though? Indicted? Is he gonna go to jail?
Indicted means that you got to show up to court because you're getting charged with a certain crime. It doesn't mean you're guilty, because supposedly we live in a country where you're innocent till proven guilty. But we all know that you got to be like a CEO or Mad Money.
You're
or
innocent
lawyers.
until proven your wallet is
fat enough
to
exactly.
pay a good lawyer.
Exactly, pretty much, because you know the lawyers and the judges are all very good friends. And along those lines, from what I've read, it seems like 25% of the prison population is illegal immigrants that do make up the population. But as far as that whole police, I mean, I've been harassed by cops. I mean, I used to buzz my head back in the day, and I want to blame gangster rap for that. But it was just, I mean, I was actually having this discussion with IlCap the other day. It's if you look at all the movies about Hispanics and Mexicans, like American Me, Blood In, Blood Out, Boulevard Nights. I mean, I can't really think. Mi Familia, Mi Vida Loca. I mean, all these movies just re-emphasize, you know, the gangsterism, the criminality. And it really sucks, and it pisses me off, because I remember when I had moved back from Mexico to the States, I remember I was drawing I like to draw. I was drawing the anarchy sign.
Yeah,
you know, the anarchy, the A with
the circle.
And I remember this white girl comes over and she looks at it, and she looks at me, and she's like, "Why are you drawing that? Aren't you supposed to be a gangster?" Based on my last name being
Garcia. I am a
Garcia.
gangster, girl.
But it just goes to show you that the problem starts when we're young.
Yeah.
The problem and being stereotyping in the movies. I blame Hollywood for that, because I can't really think of how many.
I agree with
how
you
many
on
people?
that.
Fox News is a great example. How many black reporters do they have? How many Hispanic reporters do they have? Hardly any. And they're the ones covering the race wars in Ferguson. Come on, you're gonna tell me that's not biased? You're not gonna tell me that's one-sided? You know, it's just crazy.
There's a lot of angry kids out there, man, that don't want to be separated from their parents, man. Could you imagine that feeling, dude? Your parents got to leave because...
I know people. I personally know a friend of the family. She came here illegally like about 20 years ago. She finally went through the process. She has 2 kids. They were born here. And she married a Hispanic guy that was born here. And they went through the whole process. They were doing it legit. And one of the conditions was that she had to leave the country for 3 years. And she did, man. She left the country for 3 years. Her kids, you can imagine.
What was the reasoning for that?
To show their true love.
Yeah, it's a part of the process. You have to leave the country.
Back in the day, it was much easier. Back in the day,
just
people
marry somebody
you
and
just
boom.
marry somebody, boom, you got your papers, you got your green card. I actually got approached. I'm not gonna say by who, but I got approached by a female ex-coworker from one of these places where I used to work, and she was willing to pay me like I don't know, something around 10, 15 grand.
Yeah, same here.
And I was like, bitch, are you retarded? Like nowadays,
I want 20.
That's not enough. But I was like, are you retarded? I was like,
guy.
Nowadays you got Facebook, you have all sorts of other things, and they're looking this shit up. They want to make sure it's super legit. It's not as easy as it used to be.
They have interviews, they ask you
your family,
personal questions. They want linked bank accounts.
They want to know where the moles are at next to the, you know what? But I remember one of our other coworkers that was her friend was like, they're like, Mike, just do it. I've done it before. It's easy.
Why are you still illegal?
But you know what? This girl ended up getting pregnant by this dude that I know for sure is a citizen, and it's unfortunate that girls gotta resort to that type of method. But you know, I understand where she's coming from, and it sucks. I'm not condoning that type of stuff, you know. And I know that she has another baby with the same dude, and I really hope that it is love and they're not just doing it. But it's unfortunate, you know, like a lot of these people. And I've actually known another person who was from El Salvador. I want to say, dude was from El Salvador. He was, you know, honest guy, works, fucking cool cat, man. And one day they had a raid on his work. Somebody le puso el dedo. Somebody snitched on him that he didn't have papers, and they were mad because he got promoted to manager. And this guy got arrested. They detained him. ICE.
Wow.
They were about to deport him. He has his 2 girls who were born here, and his wife, again, an immigrant as well. And they're a good family, you know, work. The girls go to school and everything. And I remember he's like, yo, man, he was stressing the fuck out. I mean, as I would, you know. And I remember we're right there writing letters like, hey, this is a good guy. The good thing that helped him is pay your taxes. That's one thing I tell people. And Lou was bringing that earlier. Oh, you know, 5 years, how are they going to be able to tell? What you do, you file your fucking taxes.
Exactly.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
You assimilate. Again, it goes back to what I said. You learn the language. You assimilate to what it is. Because when I moved to Mexico, we had to assimilate and do all the same things too. So people, you know, pay your taxes. Even if you're not legal here, do that. Show them that, hey, you know what? I really want to be here. I'll give you taxes so you could drop bombs on people in Syria and have your wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and you can have this fake war on drugs, and you can arrest us, you know, because that's what they do with the taxes. You know, it doesn't go to education.
Well said.
And
you are one of the dudes that protested, Mike.
Oh yeah, that was May 1st.
Is that you, man?
Yeah, that's me, bro. That's May 1st, May Day.
That's a cool picture, bro.
2012. You
Not
know,
as cool as this guy.
oh that dude's just like, what's this for doing?
You can Photoshop that guy out.
I actually liked it because he's just.
That's pretty cool, bro. You know, it looks like you even pay the cops to like put their cars there and everything.
Well, let me give you a little history on this. So you know, May Day, you know, it goes with the International Laborers Day and stuff. And the previous year, there was like 1 million people in LA marching.
With the white shirts, right?
Yeah, but that wasn't that year.
Okay.
I went the following year, and I was like, you know what?
I was there.
You know what? I'm one of those people. Practice what they preach. I'm all about action, not just talking. I'm out there with the people. I'm living in the neighborhoods. So with this was one of my really good friends was with me, and I saw the cops rolling up. I was like, damn, this is a good picture right here. I was like, hey, bro, take it. And I'm standing right there just like this. And you could tell the cops are, what is that, maybe 25 feet from me?
Yeah.
Man, he's like, hey, the camera's not working. I was like, fool, take the fucking pictures.
Like, they're about to start running towards you.
The cop almost hit me, bro. By the time I put my arm down and I turn around,
next picture is like you're getting tackled
under the wheel. Hey, talk a little bit about the people there, though. Were they really about the immigration shit?
No, that's what really upset me was that a lot of people there were some. I'm not gonna say not everybody, but there was a lot of people with another agenda, a lot of socialists, a lot of people with different ideas, which, you know what, I respect your ideas, but when we're there for one thing, you know, but one thing I will say is I did met this one guy, I forget his name, I have pictures with him, I'll post him up on Facebook later, but I was talking to him and he looked like a straight paisa. You know, he looked Indian, he looked real Mexican. I started talking to him and he's like, speaking to me in English. You know, a lot of the times when I see those type of people, I'm guilty of stereotyping. I was like, hola jefe, ¿cómo está? He's like,
same here.
And he's like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, oh shit, you know. So I was talking to, and this guy was like, he's like, yeah, you know what you got to do? He's like, you got to get bonds, you got to get Roth IRAs, you got to get your 401k. He's like, you got to save your money. This guy was just breaking it down on everything that he's done since he came here, and I was just so amazed and so empowered by this guy.
Good, man.
And I definitely went there. I marched for the people, you know, anytime I can, just like you know, you protest. And that's what I tell people, you know, do what you can and do it peacefully. You know, right then and there, you know, that picture, I need to make a poster out of that. That's our other homie right there. Big shout out to Big Scepter right there.
Scepter. Yeah, he was at the protest for the Anaheim police brutality.
That's when they had shot Manuel Diaz, I want to say, off Anna Street.
Mm-hmm. You remember that, Ruben? Did you protest for that?
No.
You didn't believe in that?
I remember that. Not that one.
Not that fool. So, Let's get into a little bit about what we feel about women being raped at the borderline. Oh, Septa's calling in. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. There we go.
Yo, what up, brother, man? Septa in the house.
How you doing, brother?
Good, man. I got Ruben here, one of my good long friends, and I got Mike here, obviously. We want to hear from you. We just posted a picture of you right now on the show, and you called in. That's a trip.
Wow, what a coincidence.
It's that infamous picture where you have your hand up, during the Anaheim riots. Can you give us a little background?
Anaheim riots, definitely, dog. Yeah, I remember that. Definitely do.
What made you do that?
Why did I do that?
Yeah.
Because I got to a point where, and I'm at the same point right now, because obviously I'm not going to claim I'm making a change, because what change can I be making, talking to you even right here. But it came to a point where I realized, because I deal with Anaheim PD, and it came to a point where it's like, you know what, I'm going to curse, I'm sorry, but this is bullshit, like, where you can't even trust the police, we're paying the police, and the fact that he was Mexican, I mean, it had something to do with it, but it was more about the injustice and the blatant abuse of power that the police have.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I went.
And this was the same time around like Kelly Thomas as well, right?
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
So it coincided.
So there was a bunch of, like I was saying, these were blatant acts of like, hey, you can't mess with us. Like we are the big time. Like if you mess with us, then, prepare to face the consequences. And in all reality, it shouldn't even be like that, because in the first place, if it wasn't for the taxes that you and I are paying, these people wouldn't be getting paid and wouldn't have the funding for their cars and their weapons that they have now.
Right, because they're supposed to protect us.
They exist because of us.
Right. Hey, except I was going to ask you about the guy who got shot. Do you know anything about that? Was he shot in the back? Because I've heard a rumor about that.
In the
He
head.
was shot execution style.
Which is in the back of the head or the front?
Which is in the back of the head, facing down on the ground.
Damn. That ain't right,
So,
man.
look at that real quick. Just look at that. Being shot execution style in your neighborhood. That right there is like, yo,
It's a
don't
message.
fuck with us.
It's a message from the
Don't fuck with
police.
us. That's the real, it's a message. It's a warning sign. Don't fuck with us, because this is what's going to happen to you. And see, look, man, we pay for the streets, we pay for the school, we pay for the cops, we pay for the army, we pay for everything. So the fact that people be like, yo, I got no say in this shit. Yeah, you do. You pay for it.
Yo,
You're
Septa.
paying for it. I'm paying for it.
Yo, give us a little background as far as your heritage and your views on immigration.
My heritage? Well, I can't say that I'm 100% Mexican, because I know that there's parts of me that have Spanish blood in them, so I'm not going to front like I'm this, Mexican revolutionary or whatnot. Going into my immigration views, you know what? There's 12 million people right here illegally. There's only one thing you can do. Everything it doesn't matter to me. And this is only opinion, all right? And you can go and fact check it and prove me wrong. That's cool, dog. I love being proved wrong. Prove it wrong. But look, you have a problem. There's 12 million people here illegally. What are you going to do? The only thing for you to do, realistically, in my opinion, for you to solve this problem is amnesty. And you have people talking like, no, this and that. Look it, man, most people, and I'm not saying white people, I'm just saying people with Republican white views. Remember, it was those people that created slaves. They enslaved black people. It was these same people that fucking went to other continents and raped all these continents. And this is all historical fact. So the fact that you have people saying, oh, well, we have such precious resources, I don't want to squander them. Dude, that's preposterous to me, man. Look at how many resources we've taken from Mexico. In Mexico, you cannot make oil because you don't have refineries. And that's the reason why Mexico ships its oil to the United States to get turned into gas, and then the U.S. sells it back to Mexico.
So basically what you're saying...
talk about all this shit of all amnesty wrong. Nah, dude.
Just let him go, man. Just let him go.
So basically what you're saying is that everything is interlaced. There's no such thing as borders in a way, because they're invisible lines technically, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the only borders I feel that you should have, well, not even have, but the only borders that exist are that in your mind, right? And the differences that you see physically, and in the languages that they speak, Other than that, what difference is there, bro? We're all humans, dog. Like, I always tell people, you know, the people that are dying right now in Iraq and Syria and fucking and Palestine, dog.
And Ferguson.
You know, these people right here, dude, they're just like you and I. But the reason why we don't really feel it that way is because it's like a movie, dog. You know, it's on the other side of the world. You hear it
We're
through a news,
disconnected.
You see it through. Exactly, it's a disconnection. And if you're viewing it through a box, whether it's through a computer screen, a fucking cell phone screen, or a television screen, makes it kind of like make-believe, dog. Because we were children, we were watching things that were called make-believe on television.
Yo, Septa, let me say something real quick, man. You got a lot to say, I know you do. But check this out. When they came, they had a Bible. We had the land. They told us to close our eyes and pray. When we opened our eyes, we had the Bible and they had the land.
Damn.
That shit is deep, bro.
Marinate on that.
Look, dog. Look, Aztecs, they didn't have a Bible. So they didn't have a Bible. Native Americans, they didn't have a Bible. They didn't even believe in a white Jesus. They had their own belief in the land, dog. So the very fact that a European Bible that is influenced by a European entity or a deity or a prophet, whatever you want to call it, is European, exists in America is preposterous.
Right,
and this is just historical fact. It's not to offend anyone because I know a lot of people are religious and stuff. That's cool.
Offend as many as you can.
Hey, no. I want to ask you though, Septa. It's 2014, and Ruben, also because you're our guest. What do you guys think? It's 2014. We have our thoughts. We know history, but we have to coexist still. We have to get along in this planet. Do you guys believe in just starting this war with races? I mean, we need to coexist, do we not? Are we going to solve the problems?
I think the first step is to open your mind, man. Educate yourself so you can start understanding what's going on around you. You can teach your kids.
You can't open your mind. It's my trademark, sorry.
I'm using it.
You owe him $10.
Here you go.
Just pay me later.
Yo, Septa, where you at currently?
I'm actually in my garage, dog, drinking a little drink, smoking a little smoke.
Hey, salud, homie, salud. Yo, Septa, I want to ask you a question, man, and you don't got to answer because I know ICE is listening, but are you illegal or are you legal?
I am definitely legal, but my father's illegal, and I heard of his stories to get over here, bro, and they're not very nice. They're not comfy, I'm telling you, The very fact that my dad had to leave the land that he was fucking born on, the very fact that my dad had to leave his mom and his dad, who he fucking loves to death, the very fact that he had to miss out on his sisters growing up is preposterous to me for you to go away to the U.S. because you love it. Fuck no. You go to the U.S. because you have to.
I hear that.
Did you say ICE is listening to this? I'm out of here.
So,
yo. Another thing I wanted to ask you, because you always come with that passion, man. I love it, and keep it up, bro, because you inspired me, and I know I want to have you on the show physically because I know we had you once, but it was recorded.
I would love to go, man. I would love to go, definitely.
Hey, but one thing, another thing I want to ask you is, they say that the illegals are taking the jobs. The jobs is one point I want to ask, and that they're ruining healthcare. How do you feel about that?
I'm glad you asked me that question. What jobs are they taking? Are they taking the high paying jobs that everybody wants?
Nope.
I mean,
if you're Indian, you're probably a doctor.
How many Americans want to go and pick fruit in the fucking field? How many Americans want to go and fucking scrub fucking bathrooms? How many Americans want to go and do laundry?
I was watching a documentary on that, and they asked average citizens, are like, would you go out and pick strawberries? And they're like, no, I have a back problem, or no, I wouldn't do that, or they have to pay me at least $12 an hour. They have all these demands. So you're right. I mean, a lot of people won't do it.
Well, we're never gonna know because nobody's ever gonna apply for those jobs.
Exactly.
Because we have the people that actually want them working for them.
Here's a good question, Septa. How do you?
Real quick.
Jump in.
I don't think it's an issue of want. It's a necessity.
True.
It's like you need to go there. You need to do that. You need to sacrifice. You
have no choice.
You have no choice.
You have to get that money. And most of the people they ask, sorry to cut you off, so many people that were asked, why do you come over to this country? What do you want to do here? And they're like, we just want to send money back to Mexico to our families that have nothing. So, Go ahead, dude. You got something to say? How do you?
I mean, you know what? If I can say something real quick.
Go ahead.
if you're willing to come over here and sacrifice what you do to come and work here, you know, and let's say you're not getting taxed, you know, or you are, either way, and you want to send it back to Mexico to benefit your family, fuck yeah, dude. You should.
What's wrong with that?
I ain't sure. No, there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. A lot of people be like, well, you're impacting the economy. Bullshit, dude. If anything, you're adding to it, dog, by making fucking dollars circulate in the system, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How do you
think
feel?
there's not American interest in Mexico? No, there's American interest everywhere. Trust me, you know? If I buy a fucking bottle of Coke in Mexico, I promise you, there's a percentage of that fucking profit that's going to us fucking to the corporation that exists in this country.
Yeah, Mike made a great point about the taxes because, like I was saying about Walmart, they ship the jobs over to China. You know, Mitt Romney has private banks around the world, so he doesn't have to put it on his income tax of claim how much money he has. But how do you feel about
And he's running for president. It's crazy.
Yeah, how do you feel about Thanksgiving? I've been trying to ask you this question.
Ooh, that's a good one.
There's a picture right here of a family that are, you know, I hate to bastardize Thanksgiving, but I really don't know what the fuck it's about because pilgrims came here and wiped out all the Indians. But there's a family praying right here on the table. There's a turkey on the table, and underneath the ground is the bones, the remains of Indians.
Yeah, there you go. You know, I think when you're ignorant of it and you don't think about that aspect of it, it's despicable. It's despicable either way.
What about?
You know, but to answer your question though, on what Thanksgiving is or what it is, I think if anything, it should be seen as a remembrance day of the indigenous people that were here,
Yes.
a remembrance and a memorial for the fucking kids and for the women that were raped by angry, savage fucking pilgrims. It should be remembered.
You know what's so crazy about that is that the Indians, despite these invaders coming into this land, they welcome them. Thank you very much. That's exactly, great minds think alike. They welcome them, and not only that, they taught them how to grow their own food, how to sustain life, how to be one with Mother Nature, and it's so crazy because. You know how they say the nice guys finish last? It's kind of like with the Indians. You know, they were the nice ones. And they totally got fucked over. I mean, they have it the worst out of anybody in the world. And then I would say after them, it's the blacks.
Well, here's what I think. On that, real quick, because at that point in time, I think greed maybe it might have existed, but it's something that we can't even fathom. But I think that greed, the way we see it now, where we just take and just try to take, you know, and like kind of swindle somebody out, I think that didn't exist to them. Maybe that's why they were so welcoming to them to let them in, because they had never encountered anything like that.
Greed.
So, you know, maybe at that time in their culture, maybe that was their God, you know, maybe that was a part of their religion was to give, and, you know, I'm giving of the earth, and the earth is abundant, so why not give to you?
Exactly.
You know? And because once the white pilgrim took over, you had westernized, colonizing fucking ideologies taking over the Americas, and even in Mesoamerica when the Spanish came and fucking took over the Aztecs.
And you know what the craziest part is to me, though? It's kind of ironic that these people were escaping, you know, persecution because of their beliefs, yet they came over here and kind of were being hypocrites because they came over here and kind of did away with the Indians what they didn't like of them, you know what I'm saying? And if anything, if history's proven one thing, is that if you look at all these ancient civilizations, they were all robbed of their knowledge, you know, and they were demonized by the Europeans, you know, the whites, you know what I'm saying? And all of that knowledge was stolen, it was burned, and they kind of took it as if they were the true creators of it, but it's not true. You know, they twist history.
Same thing happened in Mexico too.
Yeah, same thing with the Aztecs.
Cortez and Moctezuma. They destroyed the pyramids once they took over, and the same thing. The Aztecs welcomed the Spaniards.
You heard of the Pioneer Gland, right? Like, you guys heard of the Pioneer Gland? You heard of that? Heard it before?
The what?
The pineal gland.
Pioneer glands?
What is that?
No, pineal gland. Google it.
Pineal.
Yeah, pineal gland.
Let me Google it real quick.
Apparently, and I'm not 100% accurate on it, so fact check it, you know? Fact check it. Please fact check it. But pretty much a basis of it is where, like, you know, your intuition comes from. Like,
oh, yeah, the pineal gland. That's in the brain.
Yeah. And even psychic abilities can arise from that if you know how to tap into it, you know? And I think that television shrunk that shit, you know, because they used to be a lot bigger, and our dome pieces now it's the size of a raisin. You know, so
because fluoride and stuff like
check
that.
This out, though. Here's some food for thought. Anybody listening to this shit right now, this is stimulating your pineal gland, so this is good.
Yeah, I don't know about psychic abilities, but I do know that, you surround
Hey,
yourself.
you know what? Real quick, Luke, real quick.
Go ahead.
Quick. We cannot throw anything off the table, dog, because we have not seen it.
Go ahead, bro.
Correct.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The fact that you have not seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Well, my point was that, we can look at history and almost predict the future by looking at, like Mike said, if you don't know it, you're going to repeat it, man. And I talk to people on a daily basis, and I could read them just by how they dress. And it sounds kind of stereotypical, but I can figure out what kind of music they like or what kind of person they are just by some of the behavior they display to me. And that gives me an idea about what they are.
What they're all about.
What they're all about, exactly. So good shit, man. What about Christmas? Why do we celebrate?
Real quick. Can I add something during the Christmas real quick? Just end that real quick. Like, watch. Okay, these are all programs. They're all programs. Like your dome piece is a computer, they're all programs that are uploaded to your dome piece for you to mimic in society. So the fact that it's predictable just goes to show you that predictable programming, which is in the movies and the television and the radio, is really taking place right now. You go back even to the 60s in rock and roll, people that never listened to rock and roll started levitating towards rock and roll because it was all a psychological experiment. It's all control, people. Everything is control. Nicki Minaj, all these fucking idols out there that you like and don't know why the fuck you like, it's because they're predictively programming your donkeys or uploading shit to your head.
But I also think vibrations are something that makes the body
frequencies, maybe?
want to move.
They're true. But see, there's low-lying vibrations. There's potent ones that you can send, like love and positivity, and then there's fucked up ones, like for instance, the vibration that you get when maybe you want to fuck your boy's fucking chick, and you're really gonna do it. Like, maybe if I do this and that. That's a low-lying vibration. Or when you're setting somebody up, to jump them, that's a low-lying vibration. When you lie to somebody to get somebody somewhere that they shouldn't be because you're trying to fuck them over, that's a low-lying vibration.
What about Christmas?
What about that Christmas? Hey, let's switch up the topic a little bit and talk about Christmas. Let's go around the table. Ruben, will you be celebrating Christmas this year?
Yeah, I do.
All right, you suck. Next, Mike, will you be celebrating Christmas?
I'm not going to deny, I mean, we got the tamales and champurrados, bro.
Exactly, man. You can't pass up that tamales. Can't say no.
My bad, homie. You best believe I'd be celebrating that, dog.
I'm talking about Christmas presents, Christmas trees, Santa Claus on your roof with a little sleigh and reindeer. I'm talking about tradition.
All out like that.
You don't go all out like that.
I do a family gathering. That's what we do.
Yeah,
family gathering, and we don't encourage any of the corporation.
Fuck that, right?
Yeah, well, let me tell you guys something. Christmas is not what you think it is, because Christmas Town is China. What is it? Labor, China factories. Fuck, I can't even talk. Yeah. Little elves that make. Little elves that make your shit is actually Chinese women that are making your Barbies for your little kid, working their asses off for free because they're slaves. And Santa's sleigh is a gigantic.
That's one thing I don't.
Let me finish real quick. Santa's sleigh.
I want to answer that real quick.
Okay, hang on a second. Santa's sleigh is a giant. Santa's sleigh is a giant boat with a bunch of shit on it. And it's being shipped over to America, which we use every day when we go to Walmart and buy their shit.
Hey,
so.
Fuck Walmart. You see, I don't go all out on Christmas, man. Like that you buy all kinds of shit for.
Fuck that, right?
Especially for your kids, man.
Yeah.
You give them what you think it's going to be good for them, man. Yeah. Not a bunch of presents.
You know why Mexicans love tamales, so that way everybody could open something. You know what I'm saying? That's why they wrap them up. That's the original gift.
So they can have something to unwrap.
That way nobody feels left out. And I think it's a metaphor for you're unwrapping the gift of life, because food is necessary for life. You know what I'm saying?
Not to brag or anything, but when I was little, you heard of Reyes Magos, right?
Yeah.
Well, in Mexico, you don't really celebrate Christmas. What you celebrate is Reyes Magos.
The 6th of January?
I believe it is.
You put your shoe at the door?
Yeah. Well, they bring you in the middle of the night. They're bringing you wake up. Kind of like Santa Claus. Yeah. And my mom, man, I mean, she would do the best she could to buy me a couple of presents. Nothing like the other kids at the block that you would get a bunch of presents.
Dude, my mom would be happy with a banana, bro.
Yeah.
I would get like apple, a fruit.
I would get like a little toy man. And I would be happy with that, And that taught me.
Don't lie, fool. You got Barbies.
Nowadays, it's like, give me an iPad.
I would accept you for who you are, big boy. Hey, well, Septa, thanks for calling in, man. We're going to keep this show running, but do you got any last words for people out there that don't know about immigration that would help them change their minds?
Yeah, fucking...
Get the fuck off our land.
When you see ice,
just
run
kidding,
as fast
Scooter
as
out
you
there.
can.
My boy Scooter's listening, and he's a cool dude.
It's something simple, that, like, it's just simple, like, I mean, it would be good if you read a book, but you don't even need to read a book for this. Before you judge someone based on how they look or based on what you think they are, and this is something for me too, you know, because I'm an offender of the same thing. But look, I tell this to myself as I tell it to whoever's listening. Before you judge anyone and you think you know somebody, just think twice, because you know what you don't know, dude, can definitely be twisted. And
like
come on, man, it doesn't need to be like that. To go to immigration, amnesty. Think about it, amnesty. You know, you have this big pen that's 20 more years that we're going to be trying to find a way to solve it. You know what I mean? It's amnesty, dude.
Word.
It's amnesty.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling in, Septa.
Yeah, man, we can't wait to get you on the show one day, even though this is a great topic for you because this is like your expertise. But again, bro, thanks for calling in, man. Can't wait to see you. Maybe this Saturday or 2 Saturdays from now, we're going to be recording some music, so that's cool.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. But real quick, I want to say something real quick as well.
All right, close it out, man. Close it out.
Yeah, definitely. Don't eat seafood, people, because we live in California, and Fukushima is still a real thing. Like, radiation is pouring into the fucking Pacific Ocean on a daily basis. So don't go in that shit and don't eat out of it, because we're being irradiated. Yeah, we're being irradiated through the milk and shit, but I'm just saying, you know, you want to eat a fucking fish, eat fucking radiation fish, yo. I'm just saying, it's some real shit.
We might get mutant powers and become the X-Men.
That's why that's how we grow our chiles in our backyards, bro.
I'll be the guy named a rock and shit, you know?
Or you can become an X-Men.
All right,
I hope I
Septa.
grow some claws.
All right, Septa, thanks for calling in, bro.
One love, man, one love.
Hey,
Love,
peace
peace,
out,
and
G.
joy. And to all my Muslim or Arab-speaking people, Habibi.
That's right. Septa's been working with a
One
lot.
love, y'all. Peace.
Later, man.
Peace out.
Septa's been working with a lot of Muslims and stuff, so he's getting that culture down and really understanding what's going on. I wish my boy Bugbear would call in right now because he's also all about that Indian shit. But I want to break the show down, not attacking, you know, because it feels like I'm one-sided. I'm really not. I really just want to get an understanding of it all. Like Ruben said, open your mind. He took my show name and, you know, used it and copied me basically.
And
but
I'm not going to pay you.
So I really would like people out there to know that I'm not
Just
anti.
take some business cards with you, okay? Just pass them out.
I read it from here.
I'm not anti-American. I mean, or the nation. I love the country for what we have, the freedoms that we do to express ourselves without someone kicking the door down, chopping our hands off, and throwing us in a cage. Not yet. It's coming, right? No. We got to stay positive. I believe the scale of good and bad, there's more good than there is bad. We will defeat evil. We always have. We always will. Even though there's slave labor in China right now going on as we speak. People that are starving in Africa. There's a lot of shit going on right now. But with the knowledge is key. And when you have the mainstream media, which is so damn powerful, dumbing down our people, making everyone stupid, making sure you got to dye your hair and get them highlights and put the blue contacts in, I think all of that stuff is poison towards not only our culture, but as our society, because we don't know who we are.
Exactly.
When people that are black are named Kevin Smith, you know, it's like, it's the most white man name you can think of. Not that I'm hating on white people, but we have to look at history. They were slaves. That's why Malcolm X changed his last name. He was Malcolm Little. He changed his name to Malcolm X because he didn't know who he was. And we Hispanics got to know who we are. We're people that are trying to fight for a better future. And it's a very difficult decision. I wish more people would call in and tell us why they think that we're wrong, because I think there's a lot of debate going on, and we can't be closed-minded. We have to be open-minded to figure out what's the best solution. And our president's trying to make this solution, and he's a complete idiot.
Well, the thing is that Obama's stepping up because he's pretty much what you refer as a lame duck president.
Mm-hmm.
He's on his second term. You know, the House, you know, and Congress, the Senate, whatever, just pretty much became dominated by the Republicans because people are just disillusioned, disenfranchised. You know, they're tired of it. They're just tired of the bullshit. You know, and like you said, it's not that we're anti-American. We're just anti-bullshit. I hate when people say that I'm not American, you know, I hate that, but
this is all we're trying to do right here. We do not inherit.
When you don't want to know about where you come from, about what this country's really about, that's being anti-American.
Exactly.
See, learning about it, that's what makes you a real American.
And we do not
No
inherit.
matter where you're from.
God damn it. We do not.
And I don't know.
Fucker. I'm trying to read a great quote, dude. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children.
Damn. Good
Nice.
point.
See, there's so many good.
Children, man, they're the future, man. Oh, sorry.
You're never coming on this show
talking
again, you
about-
motherfucker. No, Ruben, it's been a privilege having you here, bro. And you're always welcome to come back to the show and let us know what you want to talk about. If it's women, if it's drugs, if it's muscles like you have, you know, from your steroids.
What's the time on the show?
We got 12 more minutes, you know.
12 more minutes.
And we got a
all
lot
right.
to talk about, man.
Yeah, always. And exactly what you're saying. You know, people assume because my last name is Garcia that automatically I'm just gonna, you know,
You have a sign posted.
you know, the big old nopal on my forehead.
Yep.
You know, they're gonna automatically assume that I'm for amnesty, all this illegal immigration. Look, it's a very complex situation. You can't just say one thing or another without people getting offended.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like walking on eggshells. And being Hispanic, I'm just trying to encourage people to, hey, you know what? Do the right thing. If you're gonna be here, don't come over here and just be a fucking criminal and make me look bad. You know, don't be a lame. You know, come out here and prove everybody else wrong that we can do it. You know what disturbs me the most about the Hispanic, Mexican, Latino community?
What's that?
Is that we cannot come together to be like the blacks or the Asians, to come together as one unity. We just hate on so much each other. When we had the break, me and Ruben were actually discussing this, so I kind of want to touch on that. The problem immigration hasn't gone anywhere is because none of us are doing shit about it. It seems like everybody's out for their own. They just want to do good for themselves. As soon as Latinos see somebody else doing good, they want to talk smack on them. Yeah, they want to screw them over.
Yeah.
The first people to screw you over are your family and your friends, so-called friends.
That's what DJ Humble was saying.
Yeah, it's the reality of it, and it's really sad, man, because I've gone through it where I inconvenience myself for others, and they just won't do the same, and then they're talking shit behind my back, but they won't say nothing to my face, you know.
So do you believe in brown pride?
I do. I mean,
should I tattoo brown pride on my chest?
You know,
Yes, you should.
It's funny you bring that up. You know what? There's nothing wrong with being black pride, white pride, brown pride. There's nothing wrong with it as long as it's not in a way where you're being violent towards somebody
You're
else.
above any other race.
It's about being proud of who you are, about knowing your heritage, knowing your culture. What I'm against is that, like, when you say brown pride, you're thinking automatically of cholos,
Gangsters.
lowriders, cruising down Whittier Boulevard or Bristol or American Me. There's nothing wrong with being proud of who you are, but be tolerant of others, be open-minded. My problem is that music really fucked me up, man. Like, honestly, like, it just really did. And one thing that made me stop doing a lot of music was because there's just no backing from the Hispanic community. Most of these rappers or MCs or whatever who are Hispanic are all about gang lifestyle mostly.
That's all. Yeah.
That's all it
It's
is.
all gangs.
And they make the brown pride wrong. And I know I could say brown pride, my mother would probably be upset with me. But the thing is, when she was growing up, being proud to be Mexican or be Chicano was a bad thing because the people were pachucos. They were cholos, you know. But nowadays, it's a new breed. It's a new millennium.
Why? Why were they gang members? Like we were talking about, the first gangsters were actually to defend their territory from police that were crooked, racist
from police,
cops.
from white people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Get out of our city.
a perfect example: Anaheim, California. Currently, where we are located, this place used to be 90% white, Caucasian. Now it is 53% Hispanic. Santa Ana used to be white. Now it's Hispanic. Los Angeles,
yeah.
all of these places. And you know what it is that... ¡Viva los vatos locos!
Ponele.
La primera ley. But you know what? The problem is that the people who are in the spotlight, like people like George Lopez and all these other, you know, they're funny, but the problem is that a lot of these people are giving us, they're just continuing the stereotype.
Yeah,
they're just continuing the stereotype. You know who really pisses me off is that guy.
I know who you're talking about.
The guy with the ¿cómo se llama el güey? He's on the radio station, bro, and he's actually even on that show. What's his name?
Carlos Mencia.
Carlos Mencia is another one, but he's a little bit different.
Carlos Mencia, yeah, used to piss me off too, man.
I hate that guy.
Man, what's this guy's name?
He's not even Mexican, dude. He's from Guatemala.
Yeah.
Latino. Man, what's this guy's name? It's really irking me right now.
Are you talking about the actor, or?
I'm talking about the radio show Don Cheto.
Oh,
Don Cheto.
Who's that?
It's Oh my god!
I really can't stand this motherfucker.
Don't even tell me about it, bro.
I can't stand this motherfucker because he just makes Mexicans just look ignorant and stupid as fuck. You know, I don't know if he thinks he's doing us a favor, but he's really not. He's degrading us. And the problem, Jose Luis Sin Censura, another piece of shit guy.
Dumb fuck.
And you know what I'm so proud of is that our.
I agree with you.
No, he's
man.
a piece of shit, dude. He's the Mexican Jerry Springer. He's a piece of shit. And anybody who supports him is a piece of shit too. I'm calling out names right now. You know. And the beauty of it is that we did unite to get him off the air, and I'm all for that because I hate all these people.
Ignorance, man.
Ignorant. They just implement the stereotypes and they make people. Oh, look it! I'm flipping the channels. Look at these fucking Mexicans. Look at what their sarapes and their sombreros and their tequila.
And their fucking.
And we're not like that, man. We are educated people. We are cultured. We're very rich with our culture. It's all about family.
And a lot of us are fat as fuck and incompetent, man.
Because we love to eat, you know.
We love to eat and we love to waste our time on bullshit that we've been introduced to. But I want to close my ending of the show by saying, I don't give a fuck what color you are. Fuck brown pride, black pride, all of that shit, dude. We're not fucking colored, man. We're people. We're people, man. Fuck the labels, you know. And I'm not trying to throw away anything that Mike just said because I love being.
You're making me cry.
I love the culture. I love Mexican food. I love Mexican women. I love it all. But I love everything. I love white women too. I love African American women. I love it all, dude.
Yeah.
And when I keep hearing like, you know, brown pride and
it's separation,
it's just separation.
I hear you.
We're never gonna connect if we don't see the dots there. And then all these people are like trying to divide us on TV. You know, and all my friends, every fucking race you could imagine, and illegal immigrants have helped me survive here in America, dude. Out of all the fucking people I need, the illegals are the ones that help me, dude. And some might say, well, that's the reason why, because they're here, and you could have had a better apartment, but they're here. It's like, dude, look at the prices. Mm-hmm. No one's surviving. No one's doing it. No one's making it. So I got a lot of love for everyone out there, and I think immigration is big. Yeah, for human beings.
Human beings,
and that's
bro.
where I think SEPTA gets his idea from that. Dude, let these people in here because they're fucking trying to make a difference. Dude, yeah, some of them are criminals. Aren't we all bad at one point? You know? I was talking to this policeman, and I'm like, yo, you're an investigator, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, and you turned in this one dude because he lied, right? He's like, yeah, he was cheating. I'm like, have you ever lied before? And he's like, quiet. He's like,
crickets.
He's like, I got to think about
it. No.
Yeah. No, he's never.
I'm a cop.
I've never lied.
I'm never wrong.
He's like, I got to think about that for a second. I'm like, if you got to think about it, then you've done it, dude.
Exactly.
And stop acting like you're an angel. I told this dude, he's a fucking cop, man. I'm just balls out now, dude. I don't care about what you think about me anymore. What I care about is opening the minds.
And spreading truth.
And spreading truth, whatever that may be. Because truth is such a blanket word. Like, what is truth? What is honesty? You know?
No, now that you say that, I mean, I completely 100% agree with what you're saying, that it does separate people. As far as what I'm saying, I've always been proud to be who I am. I don't care if I'm surrounded. This is my thing. I grew up around a lot of white people, predominantly Caucasian. That's why I think that I see brown pride as a different thing, because I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to be like, yeah, bro, let's hit the tubular. And not that there's anything wrong with that, you know, but the thing is like, I still wanted to have my background. I want to be like, nah, bro, I'm proud to be who I am, but hey, I'm
able to back it up.
But the thing is like, I'm not going to say I'm better than you or this, but I'm going to be like, hey, you know what? Take a chance to learn what I am. I invite all sorts of people.
Being able to teach somebody about other cultures.
Exactly. Yes. Whereas people want me automatically to assimilate to a white standard is something that I'm not going to do, because I'm not white. I'm not Caucasian. But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of coconuts. We were talking about that earlier. And I have a lot of friends, family, cousins, and things like that who are brown on the outside, white on the in. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, don't be scared of who your heritage is, where you come from, because in all reality, I feel like seeing all these people be like, dude, your parents and grandparents are from a fucking ranchito, which is a little ranch in Mexico. Don't ever forget that, bro. Be prideful. If your dad's a janitor or if he's a landscaping guy, dude, he's working. He's not stealing. He's not murdering. He's not robbing. He's learning. He's earning an honest wage. You know what I'm saying?
You know what really separates us? Culture.
Of course.
It's a cult. I said this in the last show. We're in a cult. Yeah. You were brought up. Everyone's brought up a certain way. Whether you're fuck them white people or fuck them niggers, fuck them beaners. Everybody has that little energy that's like, yo, what the fuck was that?
And it's a learned behavior.
Yeah. And then you grow up and you learn this shit, so you mimic it. We're all like parrots. Exactly. We just repeat what our parents teach us. And if you ain't got parents, I feel bad for you, bro. And if you have fucked up parents, I feel even worse for you, because that's all you're gonna do is repeat what that bullshit is.
Yeah.
And until we realize that this is a cult, that we're in a cult. You know, those motherfuckers that shave their head and they take pills and all kill themselves? That's the shit that we're doing to our society. We're killing us. we're killing everybody. We're killing our own growth.
Yeah, I think people just, again, what you just said reinforces a statement I'm going to say, is that people are like, oh, those illegals, and they don't even know what the fuck they're saying. They just say it because their parents said it, their grandparents, or somebody in their family said it, and that's what it is. It's a learned behavior that they're continuing on, and that's what needs to change. And like my boy Ruben said right here, it starts with education. It starts at home. Man. The problem, it's more complex than that when both parents are working a job just to pay rent and put food on the table. So it's very complex. The illegal immigration thing is never going to end. It's never going to stop. Look at history. And you know what? People need to stop calling it immigration and just call it migration, because that's the reality of what it is. People are migrating where opportunity, where natural resources are at. The United States does this consistently. Everybody has done that. It's migration. You know, the Europeans migrated, Africans migrated, Middle East, everybody, the Mongols, the Chinese, everybody has migrated at one point in their time because their land is no longer fertile, or they're doing it for all the right reasons. Yeah, I'm not saying that everybody's innocent. There are some criminals out there. But again, you know, be more open-minded. If you see somebody who isn't from your background, you know, try to learn. Ask questions instead of just demonizing them right off the bat. Like my boy said before, if you judge a book by its cover, then you'll never read.
Here's a solution right here. How much desert do we have? How much land do we have? Open space in Victorville. There's so much land. Why can't we build societies there? Why can't we build, you know, economies there? I mean, there's so many people ready to work. Why don't we give them the tools to work and build societies? Why can't we coexist?
The problem is that the Republican Party has just been so anti-immigration for so many years that they don't want to give in, because then they're going to look like they're defeated. Mm-hmm. That's what I truly believe. It's like this whole thing with Obama since he's been in power. They've been in gridlock. They haven't done shit. Why? Because their personal ideologies are conflicting with what the masses really want. They cannot connect with the average citizen when they're millionaires. I am not a millionaire, and I'm pretty sure none of us in here are. We're just the average citizen who wants what? The basic necessities that we want: our freedom, we want jobs, and we just want to survive. Exactly. We just want to be able to reproduce and have our family and be able to have a picnic, be able to get together and just be able to work very well together and coexist.
I just want to live. Let me live. Ruben, what about you, man? Give us a closing statement, bro. If you were the president and you can change people's minds about their perception, what would you tell them?
Not a corrupt president either.
Yeah, like in Mexico.
Then I don't know, man. Nah, I definitely agree with Mike. Education, man. You have to, as an adult, as an immigrant, when you come here, even whether you've been here since you were 2 years old or you just came here last week, you have a duty to learn the language, learn how to communicate, educate yourself. Never stop educating yourself, man. Never stop learning. We never stop learning. You should learn as much as you can about your culture, about other cultures. And once you start doing that, man, you start respecting other people, no matter whether they have education or not, whether they're low income, they're millionaires. You start understanding how this world works, basically.
Correct.
I just want to shout out some Asian dude out there at work, man. He'll never hear the show. Maybe he will one day, but he's always working the ticket booth, man. And he's been there for like 20 plus years, man, you know? And every time I pull up, he always says, "Hi, sir. How are you, sir? Thank you, sir." Every fucking time. You never see this guy having a bad day. And that's the pride that immigrants have, is that they come here ready to work, respectful, and very caring, man. And they work their fucking asses off. How can we reject these people, man?
That's one thing I gotta admire. You know, like you said, he's Asian, different cultures, and that's the thing, is that we're very loving. We're very, you know, they'll take you in, man. Like Lou said earlier, that you were able to take him in and help him out during times that he was down. And now, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I really see. You know, anytime we see somebody, hey, you want something to eat? Hey, you want some food? Because we got to help each other. Exactly. We got to look out for each other. And that's one thing I really love about my Mexican heritage and culture, is that we're misunderstood, man, because they think that we're out here stealing jobs. We're really not. We're trying to better our communities. We want to better everything, man. And one person that I really look up to, Cesar Chavez, you know, starting our own credit unions, banding together and boycotting corporations, and
the corporations actually said, "Fuck you, we're just gonna leave to another country," and he followed them. He fucking followed them.
And you know what? This people in France and European countries were like, "Yeah, you know what? We're gonna go against this, and we're gonna go with this guy Cesar Chavez, and we're not gonna buy this guy's product. We have the power." And I constantly tell people, especially with Christmas right around the corner, we're in December already. You know, 20 days till Christmas Eve and Christmas. boycott Walmarts, boycott your McDonald's, your Targets, all these people who are paying horrible wages, giving you part-time hours. You know what? You work 39 hours. Guess what? You don't get medical benefits. You don't get shit. You don't get vacation. You don't get sick time. We need to start banding together. We need to really start boycotting these places. Support your mom and pop shops. It might cost a little more, but think about all the good you're doing. You know, you're not supporting the slave labor that like Lou keeps referring to in China. You know, we really got to take the next step. And you know what? Fuck it. Go on a hunger strike. Eat less. Most Americans can eat less. You could survive off all that fat around your fat ass anyway, because we're the most obese country in this motherfucking world anyways. You know, it's like people really need to start doing it. You need to stop being comfortable. You need to stop accepting the ways. You need to turn off the fucking TV. And we need to start making a change today.
And that's a big problem, man.
Yes,
turn
sir.
that TV off, bro.
And Ruben, when you try telling people this, man, stand up, we can do it and change it, and all you hear is them going like this.
Did you record me?
What do you tell people that just have no
clue,
no hunger for this?
You know, it's wake your ass up.
Wake your ass up, and that's the way. That's the way.
$10 more, bro.
Wake your asses up, man. Well, once again, it's been a great show. Ruben, you the man, bro. Thanks for coming in.
No problemo.
No problemo, bro. Anybody out there that wants to check us out, YouTube, Open Your Minds Podcast, you can hit me up directly, Lieutenant. Hit me up with a message, man. We're right here. And we out like that. Peace.
Open your mind, baby. It's Mike. Peace.
I want to rap on this beat.
Nah, you know which one I want to rap on? Is that LCAP beat. What was it called? Border.
He's got too many good fucking beats.
Shout out to LCAP. Shout out to DJ Humble. Wasn't able to make it today. Septa. All the homies.
Badwin.
Need
my new ringtones.
Badwin, we need more turbo here, bro.
Mike doesn't know what the fuck's going on. All right, we're out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.